Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name's Kobe Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we have an incredible guest and really just an amazing friend and somebody that's been around us, specifically Derek, for a long time. This is Mr. Marcus Allen. Marcus is an incredible leader in this community, barber shops, barber school. But I'm going to let Marcus tell you a little bit about that. Marcus, say hello to everybody.
Hello, how everybody doing out there? Thank you guys for having me on this podcast, man. I really appreciate it. Come and share some of my knowledge that I have. It again, still, I like to pick y'all brain because y'all brain is some good brains too. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even think I was ready for that.
Yeah. Pick y'all brain. Let me know something. Let me in. Coach, let me in. Let me in, coach.
well, we talk a lot too, so we always
do.
got stuff rolling off one another. So Marcus is a huge community leader. You see he hit it with the Barber College, but he started off with Masterpiece One on Lake Mead and Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's where you used to park that very expensive Mercedes in front of my shop on the west side, like the expensive car, the most expensive car on the west side, parked in front of the barber shop.
I got my west side card from Marcus. Marcus gave me my west side card. He stamped it, and I was able to go to Mario's on my own.
Everybody come to the shop. Who car is that out there? That's yours right there. Oh, that's yours? No, it's not mine. I haven't made it there yet.
But all right. So you haven't made it now. It's 4 barbershops, Barber College, and it just keeps on growing. So Marcus, tell us a lot about the journey, like from Masterpiece One to the journey of where you're at now with the college and everything else going on for you.
Well, the journey started from way back when I was actually young and I was getting into a little trouble. Well, a lot of trouble, I should say. And I thought that I had the answer to every question. I really didn't. But God had another plan for me, and that's why every time you see me post, I say God's plan, master plan is a masterpiece. Because everything, pieces, masterpiece is a bunch of pieces that come together and make something that's a whole. So that's why I say the masterpiece. So everybody wonder why these things is being said and why I say them is because everything is built together. Everything has to start from the bottom. Yeah. So you have to reconstruct yourself from the bottom to actually turn over to become something new. You see how many times they didn't knock down buildings and build up even better, build. We have to do our lives like that too. We have to tear it down and then build it back up. You're going through the process right now.
That's it. Yes, sir.
You're going through the process. That's exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, and still though, I was truly blessed that I took on a new profession, and I said barbering would be it for me, and I think I can do a lot of things with barbering, and I can be pretty much, I thought I would be my own boss, but I didn't end up being my own boss. I ended up having multiple bosses because every customer sitting in your chair is your boss. Yeah. They sit in your chair, they tell you what to do, or ask you what to do, or there's some tell you what to do. And then when they tell you what to do, you do it, and then they pay you for it, but that means you're a boss. So I have multiple bosses. I have to take care of a lot of bosses and satisfy a lot of bosses so I can continue getting paid throughout my life. And yet still, though, it wasn't just the end of my journey because I wanted to go to something else bigger and better to help many other people. You know what I'm saying? Other people is trying to make changes in their life. So it led for me to go from one barbershop to another barbershop and hire more barbers and actually change their lives as I was changing myself. But then it went a little further than that. I said, well, you know what? I think I'll go into the school because I also want to teach the craft that I learned myself that supported me through all these years. So I'm 22 years into barbering myself. So you don't want to take these things that you know as knowledge and take it to the grave because we all promise the grave one day. Yeah. Nobody's going to live forever. So though, I want to share something because that's where you become a living legend. Because the legend means that they will be talking about you when you're dead and gone. Somebody going to be somewhere talking about you when you're dead and gone. You leave a legacy behind. So you would just not been here. So some things, people be here on earth. They born one day and they die one day. If you have not done nothing in between them days, you haven't even existed. Who was you? I tell people all the time, who are you? Yeah. Who are you? Are you somebody? Are you somebody in somebody's life? So you have to come to that point that you have to be something and utilize the time. It's not you wasting time. And like I tell people all the time that it's nothing that we can do in life right now to get that last second that just left just then. That second is gone. It's never going to come back again in this lifetime right here. So you have to cherish every second to every minute to every hour to every day to every week to every month to every year. And that's why I say you have to plan when I was talking to you earlier, you had to take a year to plan for a year. How do you take a couple of days and plan for something so big? Yeah. You talking about you getting ready for a year. Everybody, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Man, you nailed it on it too. I mean, we talk about this every time around this time of the year when you're talking about, transitioning yourself or life goals. I think, something I figured out for myself recently is there is no quick fix. You're right. And then when just a little while ago, when you said, you're really working in that transition right now for 2021, you're spot on. I mean, that's, the consistency we're looking to grow as we continue to move forward year to year, whether it be in business, personal life, mentorship, teaching, any area that we choose to, identify as a growing space. We have to prepare for it if we're going to pass it on and become a legacy or create a legacy for others and connect with them. So I'm clear with you. I love it. And honestly, they couldn't have a better time to have you in here, Marcus, because, recently with Kobe Bryant, you talk about legacy. I'm driving down the 215 last night from Summerlin coming back toward Henderson, right on the billboard, legend, father, and there's Kobe Bryant. We're in Las Vegas, man. This isn't Los Angeles.
Yes.
And then I saw the other day of my buddies in Nashville, same thing. Kobe Bryant billboards everywhere. That is a legacy. That's a legend. That's doing the work and preparing. And that's something that I learned heavily from Derek, is really just focusing on, being the best version of yourself and committing to, for us, our career and who we're going to be in our day-to-day, who we are in this community. But I love that you kicked it off like that, man. Not often do we get, an in-depth start to this podcast. So that was good stuff, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well, tell me this. How long have you guys known each other? How long has it been?
Yeah,
it's about 17 to 18 years, somewhere in that ballpark. We well past 15 years because let me tell you why I say well past 15 years. Because me and Derek had this conversation a very long time ago, and the properties that I have. I was talking to Derek about it, and I wanted to do the 15-year loan on all my properties. So I say, Derek, man, what you think about that? That'll be good. That'll be good. And Derek turned around and helped me with a lot of my properties as far as getting them refinanced to the 15-year, and actually helped me purchase some of my properties that I had actually purchased. So then, therefore, if we talking about well over 15 years, so if you took a 15-year loan out of whatever property, guess what?
It's paid.
It's paid off.
It's paid off. Yeah, you paid them off. Yeah.
I paid them off.
Yeah, it's been around 18 years, but people always. I get inspired a lot by other people, and Marcus, one of those guys that really inspired me. I believe it was just as Masterpiece 2 was going in on Cheyenne and Martin Luther King. That's that barbershop, just the vision of. I don't know if you ever been into a Masterpiece, but they're all spectacularly done, super clean, real nice, real seating, and how the barbers they have. Well, is Scooter still with you? By the way, he called me not that long ago.
No, Scooter have somewhat his own shop with his auntie.
Okay, yeah, he hit me up not that long ago. Anyway, I met amazing people through Masterpiece. Masterpiece. Like I told you, I joke around with it, but my West Side kid came from Marcus. But Marcus, if there was anything, you've been a mentor. Right.
Yes.
Who is your biggest mentor in your life to get you to assist getting you to where you're at today? Because I know it's probably been multiple to get you where you're at now, but who has been your biggest mentor?
Well, the number one would most definitely have to be my father. That would have to be my father, man, because he never gave up on me. He was a pastor for all these years, and yet still, though, I was running the streets, doing whatever I was doing, but he never gave up on me, and he kept praying for me. Said, one day, son, you're going to change your life. And not only are you going to change your life, you're going to change many other lives. So that himself, so now he might not end up being the legend that he really wanted to be as a pastor, but he really is because he's my father. Yep. So he's going to be a living legend. And he'll be talked about, even when he passed away and be gone, he'll be still talked about and be part of a conversation because still though he embedded into me. You know what I'm saying? He just wouldn't give up. Even though I strayed away, he tried his best. And then, the whooping was over with. It's come a time with a kid, you can't whoop him no more. Yeah. All he can do is talk to him and talk to him and talk to him. And still, us as when we was younger, we never see the vision on what our father, our parents, or our other people in our lives see. And we have a way of getting ourselves distracted from the real truth and the real life that we really be trying to. It's like they didn't already paved that road, and they say, "Hey, go down this road," and they say, "Well, no, I think I'm gonna go right and left." But let me use the story right here. Let me tell you this right here. You got Duncan Hines or Betty Crockett in the grocery store, and they got a picture of the cake on the front of the box. So your intention is to buy the box to get the cake and get your cake to look like that cake that's on the box. But then when you get it, you say, "Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna add some more milk to my mix because I want mine a little more moist." And then you say, "Well, you know what? I want a little buttery in there. I like butter, so then you add a little more butter." So when you get to adding your own recipe, 9 times 10, your cake ain't gonna look like the cake on the box. Something's gonna go wrong. Right. So these people done had this cake mix, and they didn't mix this cake mix over 1,000,000 times probably to get this right recipe. You understand? The right ingredients to get it to look like this cake on this box. But then you get it, you want to start making changes. But you still want yours to look like that. And that's the same thing with life. We have life. Everybody say, "Well, I want mine to be like yours. No, you hear the favorite words in the streets. I wish I had your hands.
Yeah.
I cut mine off." I said, "You'll sew them back on." You will sew them back on. Because guess what? You wouldn't want to go through what I go through to even get to the point that I got to go through to get to this, the way you would want my hands. You ain't going to get up early morning. You ain't going to go to bed late night. You're not going to keep that fire burning inside you that make you want to do more and more and more and not just settle for just what you have or less. See, that's something that's got to be inside you. And not in YouTube right here. It's in both of y'all. The same fire that's burning in me, but it's in a different era or a different, a different point of life. But y'all had that fire to end up to where y'all at. You had some friends, you had some cousins, some family members that was just about in the same position you guys was that had the same chance y'all had. But guess what? They went to sleep early, and they woke up late.
Yeah, yeah. I believe in getting up early. I'm a 5 o'clock guy. I like getting up. I like watching the sunrise. Eat breakfast early. Get in here, and grind. I believe, similar background as far as how we grew up. I think my whooping stopped at 12. After I became immune to getting spanked.
Yeah, immune to it.
No longer fun for my mother and father, right? But no, I think for me, it was growing up where I was growing up, and it was always the negative people, right? Like, you're not gonna do this, you can't do that. So there's always been the people that you wanted to prove wrong.
Yes.
You say, "No, I'm gonna prove I can do anything I want to do," and then you do it, and then you realize success comes with a price. It comes with you're right, the hours, but not only the hours, it's the dedication, the persistence, the passion, the love, the commitment, and sometimes you have to have. We had this conversation yesterday with someone. You have to have the hard talks with a lot of people inside your life. Yep. And especially it's like, at home, like the wife or the family. Sometimes the family doesn't understand, but sometimes you need to let them know, like, hey, I need, to work, 12 hours to support this family, to take care of it, to get us to the next level, to get us somewhere where like, for me, we never went to college,
right.
Parents really went to college, but I really want my children to go, like, they're really great in school, right? I believe in higher education, but to see them do something I didn't do is what I'm aspiring to. That's what inspires me to, make sure, like Alec, he got his first car, right? We were talking the other day with someone, like, he didn't know how to wash it, right? And I'm teaching him how to wash the car. Like, I love washing the car. For me, I got my first car. Washing the car was like the greatest thing because it was my car. Yes. And I was trying to teach Alec how to wash the car. So, just like that mentorship with your children, and then the mentorship like where your father was with you, never, giving up and so forth. I believe that's the key in life is never giving up on yourself.
Yes.
It's never giving up on yourself, because there's so many times where you or I could have given up on ourselves and went a different way.
And sometimes you do get to a point that you almost feel like giving up. You overwhelmed with so much pressure and so much going on. You like, man, I'm tired. I tried, and this thing just keep on not going the way I wanted to go. And you almost, we all have the same thoughts because we have some very successful stories, and we came, I say, from the bottom to the top. I mean, hey, but I'm not saying we all the way at the top yet. We working on it.
Let's go.
We elevating. We on the ladder though. We're not on the elevator. We on the ladder. We pulling ourselves up.
I'm clear with you on that, man. There's been many a times, and I'm sure there will be many more times where I felt, at that, I don't like saying breaking point, because I really believe that I can't be broken in that way. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I hold to myself. because of my past. But for me, coming to a point where it's like, man, I need to, or not I need to give up, but man, I really, want to give up on this, whether it's been, one venture in my life, or, it's a goal that I set that I just couldn't get to, something that was just bothering me. And, for anyone listening, and this, I just heard it from you, and it makes the most world of sense, is you just got to keep going. Gotcha. Just put it on paper, write it down if it's something you need to achieve. If you feel like life is falling in on you from every angle, it might be, but keep going, right? That's what we're built for. We get to keep going and push through. And no matter what you believe in, for me, it's God. I do believe God has a plan. And sometimes in this specific instance, it may just be a little extra test to see how much more you can handle, and take that as a gift. Because let me tell you, as you handle more in life and as you stretch, and I'm learning this in our industry too now, something I didn't expect in mortgages, from the start of a loan to the day they fund, you have to be with that client and service them the whole way. It could be a 3:00 in the morning response email you've got to get to. For me, this is my experience. But my point is, if I gave up on every challenge amongst the course of a loan for a client, I would never get people into homes. It's not the easiest thing. And if I gave up on every goal I set, I would never, get the opportunities that I have to be sitting right here listening to gentlemen like you. So for anyone, like, if you come to that point where you just feel like it's all falling in, whether it's faith you believe in or whatnot sets you, your fire, light it up and keep going, man. That's what rests for me. And you just never know what the next door is going to be for you.
You don't know. We can't tell the future. We can plan for the future, but we cannot tell the future.
That's right.
And there's a big difference between, between quitting, right, and course correcting. So there's a big difference. You have to, that distinction you have to put in your mind. Sometimes course correcting may look like quitting, but it's just going a different direction. But then sometimes it's just flat out quitting because the work's too hard. Mentally it's tough. You feel like you're getting nowhere. There's lots of people that just give up, right? And there's a great book on that, the Napoleon Hill book. I think it was chapter 13 that talks about the gold, digging for gold, and 1 foot away was it, and sold everything, and a professional company came in, mined it, and became, billionaires, right? But I think there's a big difference between just saying, I quit, and let me course correct, because you've course corrected many times, right?
Yes.
And look where you're at. You course corrected with the college, you course corrected with the schools. I mean, with the shops. I've watched you grow. I've watched all the amazing stuff. I just had the privilege to do your last house. And
yes.
Like, I know you. So like I got to see so many amazing things that you've done in this community. But you're a guy that truly touches the community. Tell us a lot about what, I don't think people know, like, Marcus has, every year he has, like, I always get an invite to the Christmas party. Like, I go to the Masterpiece. I've only been a couple times, but I always get an invite. Like, always, for years, I've always gotten the invite. Are you coming? The community events. He sets up in the park and feeds people. Like, this all Masterpiece time. This isn't like, this is everything Marcus does. Marcus, tell us a lot about what you do in the community.
Well, my thing is try to help rebuild, not really rebuild, or the community is already built, let's say that. But I knocked some couple bricks off some walls in the community when I was younger in the streets. So that means I tore down some buildings. So now I'm trying to rebuild and put a brick back in there. Whether the brick is old or new, but I'm trying to replace the brick. So therefore, when you sit out there and you take or receive from a community, now just not my community.
Yeah.
Everybody have a community. Yeah. And I teach that to my students, that everybody have a community. And they say, well, what you mean by that, Mr. Allen? I say, well, the community is where you work at. That's a community. And where you live at is a community. Them two communities that you really, you're a part of. So if you're going to go inside a barbershop, which is let's say the cornerstone of the community right there, but you want to go and drain all the funds out of the barbershop and then take it to your home or your area where you live at. Like, what I'm saying is, let me clarify this right here. You go in to work and you cut hair, but you cutting hair over here in this community. So now you got paid in this community, but you go home and then you go get gas at home and you go to the grocery store at home in that community. So you never gave back to the community where you actually taking from. Okay, so that's why I say you got two communities to give back to: the one that you live in, and also the one that you work in. Help that community out. It's not about, like, everybody keep thinking, and a lot of people on my side think it's the community is the West Side. That's the community, and that's the community we talking about. No, it's multiple communities. Everybody have a community. Let's get that straight. So what I'm trying to do, even though I don't live in my community, I try to get back into my communities that I actually have businesses in, which is at different locations. I want to give back to them. I linked up with the school band over there, and it's mostly Hispanics. I wanted to give back to them. I probably didn't know none of the words that they was playing or to understand the music. But yet still, though, I'm a part of their community that I'm receiving something from. Yeah. So you have to give back to it. Don't just take from somewhere.
One thing about Latin music, just to clarify, it's easier to dance to. It's easier to dance to.
I like it, man. I love dancing to Latin music, man.
It's easier to dance to. You know what I mean? Like,
just move around. Just move. Hit the beat.
You got to keep the feet going.
Yeah. No, but you know, but all joke aside, I just know you give back to so much. But I mean, masterpiece is just where it's grown. But you know, all the community events, you know, in the give back events, you know, I see all the pop up stuff. You know, it's just amazing just to see, you know, how far you truly stretch yourself. You know, avid car guy.
Yeah, car guy.
Now you used to be are you for One Love? Are you the
One Love? Yeah,
you're the president.
No, I'm founder. I'm the founder. I'm one of the co-founders of One Love.
Yeah.
One of the co-founders of One Love on both sides, motorcycle and also the car.
Yeah.
I relinquished all the positions as far as vice pres and pres. I relinquished all that. Them position is filled, but I'm just now founder and co-founder of one another.
See, he has more than one thing going on. He has, I think Marcus sleeps maybe 4 hours a day if he sleeps, because if he's not at the Barber college, if he's not at the college, he's in the garage. You know, I mean, he's got cars, man. I'm
gonna have to check him out, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I remember pulling up to his house, and he has that Continental 4-door with the suicide door.
Suicide door, the Lincoln.
You have a Continental?
Man.
Yes, I have a Continental 16.
I'm not trying to put his business in the street, but I'm just gonna say he's a car guy, man. Bike is amazing, but man, he got some beautiful, man. Just a car lover.
Yeah, I'm a car lover. I'm a car lover. And then I built it. You got to come check the garage out.
Yeah, I saw the
like
picture of the garage.
You saw the picture. You saw the picture. You got to come check
it.
the garage out.
Yeah, I might be moving in.
The One Love Garage. I call it the One Love Garage. Well, I love the garage. You know what? The garage is a peace of mind for me. You know, that's like let's go. It's back to life again. Even with the cars, you're taking something old that used to run around on the streets and drive, and now it's beat down, it's wore down. The paint is all, the interior's deteriorated, and you take this and you take your time and rebuild it. And it's the same thing we do with life. I rebuild these cars. And you see it like it's a mess, and they say, this car never hit the street again. You know, never had this thing. Every wire is took off, or every bolt is took off this car. Every door, every glass is took off this car. And next thing you know, it turns back into a beauty. And that's the same thing with our lives. We was this tore down individual car that was running good, but then tore down and couldn't run no more. And then everybody gave up hope, and then they sold us off.
Yeah.
And then another owner come along. They say another person another person junk is another person treasure.
Yeah.
So then it turns it back into a treasure, a nice, beautiful car. I love these cars. Do I get time to drive them? No, I don't. I guess they're just garage trophies, but I love the cars. And it's also similar to an investment too, because one thing about old cars, they don't lose value.
That's right.
I remember when we used to car swap. You know, I have we have a car swap in a while. I'm gonna be car swapping soon.
I got something for you too. You'll like it too. I know you'll like this one.
I don't know what the list looks like for the Continental, but sign me up, man.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I just want to say, you know, honestly, I could probably talk to you for another 5 hours, Marcus, just to be real. But you nailed it with community, and I love speaking in our community as a whole. I love, Las Vegas and how well this city and how connected it is. And when you said, legacies and just bringing back to communities and the work that we do, how far does it extend? Before we even had a chance to really connect, I was already being touched, and taught, I should say, because I love my time in the chair at the barbershop. And I mentioned earlier to you, RD Barber. He's my barber here. Yes. And man, obviously the impact you've made on him is magnificent, because when he speaks about you, it's with grand respect. And for me, that is legacy, and it's happening all around you, whether in your community or, extended, even to when I'm sitting, I tell you, man, I go Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. RD and I'll have a coffee. He, cuts my hair, and sure enough, man, the words that he speaks into his clients and specifically the time that I have with him, extreme gratitude. And I believe that it sparked from a gentleman like you. So, kudos to you, man.
Yeah.
And I'm with gratitude because now I work with somebody on, in the same trade, and he's cutting my hair and obviously teaching incredible lessons to the folks coming through his shop as a result of being taught by you.
That's good. That's good. Real good guy.
What you don't know is that Marcus, people are lucky because they never wanted the Barber College in the state. Marcus had to go out of state. Marcus lived he had commuted. Tell us about what it took for you to become a barber, because it wasn't easy for you.
Well, back in the late 90s, or before the 90s, Las Vegas didn't have the state of Nevada didn't have a barber school. So every barber had to travel outside of state to actually go to barber school. But it didn't break us. It made us. It made us stronger because we had to go out and go get it. We just couldn't go around the corner. That's why I say my students now, they privileged. They get to get out the bed, and the worst thing they complain about is traffic on the 15th.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. Now
But tell them where you went to school.
I had to go to school all the way and catch an airplane and get my car shipped down there to San Antonio, Texas, where I started at. I actually was going to Austin, going to barber school in Austin, because my sister was getting ready to go to law school in Austin, and then so we was gonna stay together. So me and her did a transition in life that we both was like restarting another career, so we was going back to school. So we're gonna work together, sister and brother. So she was going to law school at UT Law, and I was going to the barber school in Austin. We was sharing an apartment together. And then I was told, hey, they have a barber school in San Antonio, a pretty good guy down there. I went down there to visit him, and I said, wow. And I went to visit him. It was an hour away. And I went to visit him, and the guy talked to me like as he was my father. The same way I'm talking to you guys, the guy was talking to me, and I'm like, wow, this is the school I want to be in right here. I need that talk. I need this right here. And this Mr. Williams Barber College down in San Antonio, thank you for it. And all the friends in the brotherhood and the sisterhood and the people I met in San Antonio during the time, the transitioning when I was down there, moving down there, going to school for we stayed down there for a year. And it was tough and it was rough, man, because we was running low on money and things. But it really was getting me prepared for today. Like I said, you have to break down. So it broke me down. So usually I was spending $20 on food and this, that, and other. I had to break down to spending $5 on food because I had to preserve my stash or whatever you want to call it, or whatever I had set aside to go to school because I wasn't working and I wasn't in the streets no more. I gave the streets up. I went cold turkey on the streets. I said, you know what? I'm not doing the streets no more. I'm just going to change my life. I'm just going to be a barber. And everybody, you ain't going to, you'll be back here. You'll be back in the streets. And people was actually calling me while I was in barber school talking, hey, man, what's up, man? What's up? You ready? No, brother, I'm in barber school. I'm done, man. I'm done. You're not done, man. Come on, man. I said, no, I'm done with the streets, man. I'm changing my life. But you see, God can say, I can give it to you. But what you going to do with it? That's the main thing. I can give it to you, but what you going to do with it?
Takes action.
Takes action. Take action. Everybody keeps saying that they waiting on God, but God give it to you. It's right there in front of you. He give you health and strength to do the moves that you need to make, and you won't make the moves. You waiting on God. So you want God to come down here and just do it for you and say, oh, thank you, God. No, it ain't going to work like that.
Yeah.
You got to have some work with it. It's everything you have to start with a seed. Everything start with a seed. And the thing is, when you plant a seed, you don't go the next day and look for fruit.
Takes time.
Water.
It takes time. You got to water it. You got to fertilize it. You got to see out there, and then a little old leaf might come out the ground. You say, "Ooh, there it go," but you still can't pick no fruit. You can go next a couple more seasons and still don't get nothing from it. And that's the same thing we do in life. We have to wait for that little seed to grow into a branch and then go into a tree and then bear fruit a year or two later, depending on what fruit it is, and then we can go pick from that tree. Then we can eat. We can eat some good fruit that we planted.
And we're going to eat.
Years ago. We're going to eat.
We're
going to eat.
But imagine, right. But like it's where it started. I mean, when 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot of great barbers in this town. But you've generated, how many barbers has your college graduated?
Well, when you say years ago, it wasn't good. It was some forefather barbers that was before us, the Mac and the Bookers that had their own shop and things like that, and some other It was a lot of, but it was a transition because them guys was getting older, and then was a younger group coming in, which was a group before me, and then I was like probably the second or third group that came out of barbering. So therefore, the transition went to multiple, and the men grooming then blew so well, especially with social media. That men grooming and styling then came, because it used to be the women go to the beauty salon, they get their pedicures, their feet done, their hair done, and the man be like, I'll see you when you get back, baby. Yeah. Now the man say, hey, baby, I'll see you when I get.
Jane gives me hell all the time when I stay too long.
The barber shops, I go to the barber shop every Saturday. People think it's a little too much, but that's why I like my hour in the chair, 8 a.m. Saturday with Jimmy. But but how many barbers when you've changed? For me in business, like the business community, you changed lives. Yes, you had to go to San Antonio and you had to go to Texas, get your license, came back here. Years later, Vision, Barber College, these guys just roll out of bed. But how many barbers have you generated? Because I know personally a couple of barbers that didn't have to do that they mentored under you for many of years to get a license, which they were lucky too. But how many barbers literally came out of your school?
That's good you said that, Derek, because this right here, if it hit you, you remember this right here, so you know I'm not lying. Well, first of all, first Levada Barber School actually came from under Masterpiece itself too. It never we've said or talked about that me and you know where he was working at before he opened up the school. Exactly. So I'm not lying. You was right there. You lived this. Yeah. So that's the first Levada Barber School. Now, besides that, is 8 barber shops that now have opened from umbrella from Masterpiece. Yeah. And now, for our students, we're working on our 300 students that's graduating and into the workforce into the state of Nevada.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. 300 students.
300 students. And that's within the last 4.5 years we actually produced it. We had a 98% graduate and passing rate. And we real serious about our students coming there. You can pay your money all you want to, but you're going to take this serious. You're going to actually pass at this school right here. And that's why we have a waiting list the way we have it. People say, oh, it's a waiting list. I say, I wish I can help it, but I can't. But everybody want to come here. They want to wait to come here because it's almost guaranteed that you're going to pass because we're not going to let you fail here. You're not going to fail on the outwatch. No. You can do what you want to do wherever you want to do it, but you're not going to fail here. And we serious about it. We passionate about it. Very passionate.
And it doesn't take 3 months to get it. How long does it take for someone to start? If someone's listening and say, I want to become a barber, I want to reach out to Marcus. How long does it take start to finish to be a licensed barber?
Start to finish, you complete barber school within 8.5 months. Yeah. If you come every day on time, 8.5 months. If you kind of like sluggish a little bit, you can finish within 9 months. We give you up to 10 months. And by state law, they give you up to a year to complete barber school.
And you've created, that's what I'm saying is, besides, saving, out of all those people that graduated, they would not, a lot of them, they may have 1% of those guys may have picked up and went to California, went to Texas, gone to Arizona, to Barber College. Not a lot of people would have done that, but because Marcus and the vision of being a barber, getting off the streets, created so many jobs, and for years and years and years to come, he's going to create amazing barbers. They may not stay in Las Vegas, they may go to Henderson, they may go to another state, right? But all because of the vision that Marcus had with the Barber College, he's creating jobs, and we always see what the big thing about us. We always talk about job force here. We have more jobs than we do people now. Mm-hmm. When the market crash was opposite, right? Yes. People are out of work, people are giving away homes. It's a much different market today. But because of you and your innovations that you've created, you're creating people in our community that do give back to their community by buying the groceries, getting gas. We've been around the Barber College for a long time, so we get to see what you're producing. You're producing productive members of the society. But I've also been in the Barber College where I've seen kids or men come in there hard and leave there respectful.
Thank you.
Their whole mentality has changed in 8 months. And I've been able to witness a lot of that. Yes. I've seen people come off the streets with that attitude, that thuggish attitude. Mark's like, pull your pants up, right? Yes. You're wearing a belt. You don't wear a belt, you can go, right? I mean, legit, Marcus has completely, took in the Barber College, right, and made it a place where you come in and you leave a totally different person.
The thing was for the Barber College is I wanted to put the professionalism back into barbering. people had, well, I'm not gonna say people like they're so much different, but barbers had got so comfortable being a barber and so in demand for a barber that they got real comfortable. They started coming to work with undershirts on, house shoes on, socks on.
Yeah.
Barbers stands up to the standards as a doctor, the standards of a doctor. Because if you go back into the history of barbering, we was the doctor. We the one was pulling teeth, was checking on you and blood spills and everything else. We was doing that way back in the early 1800s. We was that individual. That's how we came up with the barber pole. The barber pole came up with the white rag. And it was supposed to be for the white rag, and then they ring the blood from the white rag, and when they ringed it, it turned to stripes. The blue, the red, and then the white, the barber pole. And let me tell you something about the barber pole. The barber pole is so unique. Check this out. It's so unique. Watch how so unique it is. You can go anywhere in the world, and the barber pole resembles the same thing.
Yeah.
How many things like that is incorporated around the world that it means the same no matter where you go? The language changed, the soil changed, the people changed, the look of people, but the barber pole still remains. You can go anywhere. You see a barber pole, that's a barber shop over there.
Haircut. Yeah.
The word and the verbiage, the lettering might be changed, but that barber pole is still the same. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I ain't been around the world. Every time I go, I see that sign, I go right up in there. That's a barbershop there.
I just saw you
in
China.
Barbershop.
I just saw you in China.
Yeah, I was in China. That was a wonderful trip, man. That was a wonderful trip over there in China. Really life experience and really I learned a lot about marketing, the way the world actually turns and how people can see a need that people need or want, and they satisfy that, and then they make money off of that. They make a whole, it's like China can think whatever you want and whatever they think you might need, and they're going to factor it up right there.
Yeah.
And they say they're going to need this. They're going to want this. And it's just nothing but a bunch of factories. Factories. They build everything. And we're not going to get into politician about that, but yes, still, though. I see where it all come from.
Yeah, I don't live in large, Marcus. When we cut off the mics, we'll go back in on that.
We stay.
I will say, man, we're running hot here on time. Living large listeners, this has been a treat. I hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Marcus, if our listeners want to reach out, or if we have some aspiring barbers out there, what's the best way for them to contact you?
They can reach me at Masterpiece Barber School, and we have a website is www.masterpiecebarberschool.com, or you can reach me on my email. It's barbermaster@AOL. I'm still AOL.
Yeah,
old school. AOL.
Does that email still work?
Yeah, man.
It still works.
That's old school.
Well,
AOL, old school.
Honestly, Derek, thank you. This was incredible. And Marcus, thank you. This has been
my goal is to
amazing.
Keep bringing mentors and community leaders, and I want to drill the message that this is business and life is tough, but if you have the right attitude and the fortitude and the gratitude, you will push and proceed through anything. And that's really why our friendship lasted long as it has, is the mutual love and respect that we have for one another. And the gift is that you've had a lot of people coming in here, and they've all said the same thing. It's work. You got to put the work in. It's not
put the work in.
It's not a 9 to 5.
Nothing
You want
counts.
a 9 to 5? Go work at Smith's.
Let me touch on that, because I just talked to I had a meeting with my barbers last night, and I said, if you guys, y'all work 9 to 5, you just at the average, and I'm not, don't let me say the average life, but you got your 9 to 5 life. But now, so that will take care of your car, your house, your bills, and that certain things like that. But now you want extra. I say you want extra, but you won't do nothing extra for it. So therefore, you guys, if you want extra, now you got to wake up be at work at 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. And then instead of leaving at 5 o'clock, you got to leave at 6 o'clock, because now them 2 hours are going to be your extra that you want in life. So you won't be taking from your average everyday 9 to 5 life. You have to do something extra to get extra.
Hey.
Saturdays and Sundays too.
Your barber works on Sundays. 95% of the barbers out there don't work Sundays.
Man, when I first reached out to this gentleman when I first reached out to RD about coming in, because honestly I was having a tough time scheduling it, because I was in transition with my career and I needed to put in my time, but I also had mad respect for him. I was like, what works for you. And sure enough, man, RD did what it took to get me in on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., which he and I are the first ones in there. We open it up together, and I made a promise to him. Every Sunday I come in, I'll bring a coffee. And every Sunday since then, I've brought that gentleman a coffee, and we hang out, and he goes to work. And, yeah, man, he's phenomenal. Yeah. I probably need to go see him this weekend, actually.
It's, we'll end on this too, right? But Marcus, you want to say, when he just touched on that, Marcus would come in here 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, or sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like we were 5 a.m. Sometimes because I would call him up, hey, like Marcus, like, man, I tell you, it's not that because he needed money. He always had great things, right? But he always fit me in. He'd fit me in, and I would drive 45 minutes, to come down to get a haircut, and there was a time at one point, like I used to have to go to two barbers. One to cut my top and one to cut the back. It was, it was weird, right? It was, yeah. But I liked, but
he liked the fade on the side and he liked the style on top. See, that's what it was, yeah. And that's why I say, man. And I just got to talking to my barbers last night about that. I said, you want to be the all the way around barber. You don't want the guy to come get the fade and you have to go down the street and get his hair cut by who God knows who, the style of the top. I say the styling is coming into men, so now you guys got to learn how to style. So I said we holding classes with ourselves. It's better for us to teach ourselves. Every last one of us is good at something, so we're going to teach each other how to be better. Oh, no, let me use another terminology, gooder.
Good. Well, that's
got to get gooder.
That's what I was saying is when he spoke into his barbers, that's exactly what he did. And you wonder why he has 4 barbershops, a barber college. He's employing, people. Eventually we'll have thousands of barbers out there in this community because the vision that he stands for.
Yes.
And that's what it is the vision. Marcus is a visionary. He's a visionary, and he knows, man. He knows. So, that's just something I really wanted to touch on because you said it, and it's hard not to tell people what you did for me so many times over and over and over again without sharing what you just shared to you because it's real. You're not just telling people to do something; you actually live it. Yeah. So that's what I love about this man. He lives it. He does it. He's a visionary. He's creating jobs. So anyone out there,
Derek, hold up. First of all, I thank you for being a part of my life. I done called you many a nights and strange hours and times too, brother.
Yeah, it's because
you didn't answer my calls,
family,
man. You know what I'm saying? You done helped me with a lot of decisions that I have to make in life. I will talk to you before I pull the trigger on some things. I said, let me see what Derek think about this right here. Derek, oh yeah, man, this right here and this I'm telling you, God, that'll work. Yeah. No, that's not gonna work. And I listened to him. So let me tell you something. Iron sharpen iron.
Yeah, true. But we're getting ready to create something together. Marcus is taking another step in doing something, and we're going to do it together. And I get to be a part of the journey. And
yes. There was another thing. Thank you for bringing that up.
Next level.
I just called him on some next level stuff, and it was really good. A good idea. I came up with the real estate thing, and it's like, you know what? We'll bring it out. We'll have that at another show. And that's gonna be a nice one right there. That's another show we're talking about.
This is about wealth. This isn't about just being rich. This is about the next level wealth stuff that we're doing together. So
the thing is though, let me tell you what, just real quick, what me and him was talking about, and we was just talking about this about a week ago. We was talking about 30 years from now.
Yep.
We was planning for 30. I just had to put a post up on my Facebook that Las Vegas, Nevada is already planning for 2050. And I asked people, where are you at in it?
Yeah. And
I say the people who is actually making this plan might not even be around 2050, but the plan is still going to be here. Ain't that something?
Got to build the bridge.
Come on, man. Come on.
Vision.
Come on.
Love it.
Come on. And that's what I'm saying. Me and him already, we went all the way to 80-something years old because I'll be 50 next year. So I'm like, think 30 years from now, I'll be 80.
Yeah. And
so I'm already thinking on what I'm going to do and what I'm going to have in place for 80 years old. If God blessed me to make it, I want to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till I'm 79 and say, hey, I'm getting ready for 80.
Plan it now.
I'm also going to be at that 80th birthday party. I'm inviting myself.
We'll be there.
We had that music that he talked about that everybody can dance
to. Well, guys, I got to say, thank you so much for joining us here on Living Large Las Vegas. This has been a lot of fun. Check us out coming up next week. Reach out, of course, to Mr. Marcus Allen. Obviously, if you're an aspiring barber, you'd be crazy not to. If I was going to be a barber, I'm calling him today. So Best of luck, guys. Keep in tune. I look forward to many more good times.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you. It's a blessing, man. Thank you.